The Arizona Supreme Court revived a near-total ban on abortion dating back 160 years. The law bans abortion in all cases, except for when the mother's life is at risk. The ban was first on the books in 1864, nearly 50 years before Arizona was a state. The law makes providing an abortion or helping a woman obtain an abortion punishable by 2 to 5 years in prison. However, shortly after the ruling, the state's top attorney general vowed not to enforce it. And lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have publicly condemned the court's ruling, which comes into effect in 14 days. For more, I spoke to one of the top attorneys in the case, Pima County Attorney Laura Conover. She's been working to repeal the law. Since December of 2022, abortions have been allowed for women who are pregnant up to 15 weeks based on a lower court ruling. But the state Supreme Court has changed that and reverted to a Civil War era law that essentially bans all abortions. What's your reaction?
Well, at the outset, I'm appalled and frustrated. The Dobbs decision made clear that they were sending the issue of abortion rights back to the states. And what we argued in the lower courts was that the state of Arizona had spoken repeatedly in the last 50 years, including most recently abortion rights up to 15 weeks. And we said that if the issue is to be decided by the state, then you have to harmonize the laws we have in place. The Court of Appeals, in a very sound decision, agreed with us, and we have had reproductive health care lawfully here in Arizona since that time. And we are disappointed that the Arizona Supreme Court has largely ignored everything that has been spoken on the issue and reverted back to an 1864 near total ban.
Planned Parenthood in Arizona have said they are going to continue offering abortions up to 15 weeks for a period of time. And they cited the Maricopa County Superior Court order. Can you explain to our viewers what that is and how that has a bearing on today's decision?
Yes, the silver lining from the Arizona Supreme Court is that the stay of proceedings is going to stay in place for some indeterminate length of time while additional issues are sorted back in the trial court. So it does allow myself as the Southern Arizona's top prosecutor and Planned Parenthood and the Attorney General's office to go back to my courthouse and continue legal analysis and legal proceedings. And during that time, I will strive to say that I want providers to continue to have trust in their leaders that care is safe and legal. And I want both providers and those in urgent need, victims of sexual assault, those in crisis and those in need of care to rely that it is safe and I hope going to be continued to be provided while we continue this legal fight.
And if this fight doesn't go your way, doctors face potential imprisonment if they perform an abortion. Will you enforce that law?
I have made clear in Southern Arizona, along with my chief of police and mayor and my sheriff, that we have very precious, limited resources, that we focus on violent crime and victim crime, property and neighborhood crime, and none of us intends to use those very precious resources to go after those who would provide appropriate, credentialed care. And again, I am somewhat gratified that services continued here in Southern Arizona throughout the last 2 years, throughout the confusion, because they entrusted their local elected leaders to do the right thing with such limited and precious resources.
Many Democrats in Arizona have already spoken out against the decision. Now we're starting to see some Republicans changing their tune in the wake of this ruling. I mean, I see here Carrie Lake, who praised the law 2 years ago, said it was out of step with Arizonans. How big an issue do you think this will be in November's presidential election?
Well, first, let me say that I'm not surprised at all. Every poll statewide in Arizona shows that anywhere between 80 and 90% do not want reproductive health care criminalized. And what's more, when we make these kinds of missteps as a state, it undermines public health, it undermines public safety, and frankly, the economy. We need to keep talented healthcare providers here, and why would they stay if we continue to keep our laws in flux? I think that today's ruling absolutely will have a profound impact on upcoming primary and general elections, but also the people of Arizona, under our right to an initiative, I believe will have a very loud and clear vote in November to constitutionalize the right to have autonomy over your own body.
Laura Conover, thank you so much for taking the time to talk.